what do I want to do before I get to that point where I can't do it anymore?
That's back to wanting, brother. Just do it. Just fucking do it. And if you don't get to do it, you don't get to do it. And if you have a chance, fucking just do it.
But people procrastinate. You know, they're like, oh, I'll do that someday, right? Or I'll
that's all.
What if someday never comes?
See, that's all part of the wanting. Even the anticipation of doing something that you're never going to do is all part of the wanting. I want to do that. Well, if you want to do it, just do it. And if you can't do it right now, give it up. Leave it alone. Don't think about it. And you get a chance, fucking go do it.
And welcome into No Fee Philosophy. This is Scott Sagent, and I'm here with my good friend James Hampton. James, thanks for being here with me.
Always glad to be here.
Now, why do people feel like life is harder than expected? I know there's a very easy way to answer this question, but I'm going to let you swing first.
Well, it's a very easy question to answer, and it's also very complicated. I think that any time that people are disappointed, it's due to their expectations.
Bingo. It was the last word in that question. Why do people feel like life is harder than expected? Because of expectations.
That's right. That's right.
But expectations are a hard thing to move away from for most people.
Indeed. I agree. It's hard not to think about what something's going to be like or the way you want it to be. But many times in our conversations it comes up, desire. Wanting it to be different than it is the opposite of accepting things. Now, this is always a balance, because I accept things as they are in this stage of my life, and yet I would not accept watching someone abuse someone in front of me. I would not accept any kind of evil act. I would not accept that, and I would try to change that. But the bottom line, desire is the source of all misery, and it's because we expect things and they don't. The universe does not care what we want to happen. It just happens.
If you think about disappointment, it ties back to expectations.
Yes.
You're disappointed because the outcome was not what you expected.
Or wanted. Interchangeable words.
So how does somebody get away from or separate themselves from expectations? What are some ways that people can do that?
Well, this is the thing. If you go to a guru, he will tell you that desire is the source of all misery. So try not to desire so much. And then you go away and you're trying not to want things and trying not to desire, and you come to the realization, well, I desire not to desire. Well, this ain't working for me, so you go back. And he tells you, well, try not to desire too much. The bottom line is that it's a conundrum. You can't do it. And this is what creates the middle way. Not too much of this and not too much of that. And try to live in the middle.
In the present.
Well, in the present, and want a little bit, and try not to want a little bit, and it all takes practice. But you have to understand what the fuck you're practicing in the first place. So first you have to come up with the concept of disappointment, desire, acceptance, and realize that you're going to desire some. And just get over it and live with the paradox. The desire creates misery. I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to desire, but desiring not desire creates a bind. You do the best you can.
Well, like what you said about finding the common ground in the middle. And when I mentioned present,
yes.
If you think about the word expectation, it's in the future.
Yes.
It's results that you are expecting in the future, which isn't here yet. So if you find the middle, live in the present, That's probably one way that you can be less attached to future outcomes. And also looking back in the past, being too attached to past outcomes or your past, also not the greatest thing in the world. But with expectations being a future construct.
Well, I realized a long time ago, or knew a long time ago, being anxious about what's going to happen doesn't do you any good. And there is nothing you can do about what has already happened. So literally you have no power to change the past, no power. You can't do it.
Right.
You have no power, no way of achieving a fucking thing about tomorrow until tomorrow is now.
Only the present.
The only time, the only place, the only when that you have any power to do anything is what you decide to do right now. And the future and the past are both thieves of the now.